Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome Cindy Lou to the show. She is the creator and author of The 4-Man Plan, and she's going to dissect my dating life. I'm terrified. I'm going to need some more oils for this, the calming ones, please. So what was the catalyst for this book?
I wrote the format, like you said, the greatest challenges we have become our purpose, become our inspiration, and I sucked at love. I was so bad at it. I just was one disastrous relationship after another, and there were all these patterns that were happening, but they were interweaving, and it came from a really dark childhood, you know what I mean, witnessing a lot of things and then trying to replay them. So what I did with the 4-Man Plan is I was actually watching an episode of Seinfeld while I was like weeping during another breakup, and it was the episode where Jerry and George are saying, like, George, your life is such a disaster. Why don't you try doing the opposite of everything that you normally do, and maybe your life will be better? And so I was like, I think this is a message from God. God is talking to me through Seinfeld. And so I thought, okay, what is it that I do, and what is the opposite that I can do? Now, at the same time, I was also a student of Master Watching Me, who is a Taoist master. His son is Dr. Mao, and they have that place on Santa Monica. And I helped him to edit about 5 books. So the principles of Taoism were like very much in me.
Yes.
I hadn't applied any of them to my love life or my dating life. So I thought, okay, let me just get smarter about this. Let me use my wits and not just let my heart and my vagina just run roughshod over everything that I'm doing, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
It's funny, I wrote a book 10 years ago, and one of the chapters is based off the same Seinfeld episode. It's a great principle, right? If everything you're doing feels wrong, or is working out in a bad way, you might as well try doing it the other way.
Well, it's that definition of insanity,
Yes.
is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results,
Right.
So I was like, I have to try something different.
I love
Most
it.
of us are insane when it comes to love, though.
It is an area where I think we really, all the principles that we hold so dear, like even like the idea of presence, the idea of abundance, you know what I mean? We just let all that go when it comes to our love life, and we start accusing, and it's him, and I'm a terrible person. You know what I mean? Like we drown ourselves because it's a high stakes area, I think.
Is that why you think we do that? Because it's high stakes? Is it programming? What do you think?
Well, I think that the default of the culture really makes it difficult, especially right now, to like feel good about yourself and have a sense of progress in a situation where it's like this guy online and that guy that my mom set me up with and this person from work. I don't know if it's appropriate.
Honestly, it feels more like a process of depletion. I'm depleting my time, I'm depleting my heart, I'm depleting my energy by giving all these little pieces away of me. Even if it's just a first date here, second date there, endless amounts of Bumble or Raya conversations there that there's no follow through.
That's right.
I don't feel inspired or progressive. I feel worse about myself.
That's what the 4-Man Plan does. It takes all of these individual dates and turns it into a process of self-discovery of yourself so that you can see who you are and what you're doing in pattern, right? So we actually use a sacred geometry shape. Can I show you?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't
know.
know.
This is, I know, I've terrified them of it. So this is actually the basis of the 4-Man Plan. This is what we call the matrix graph. And it is a 2-dimensional version of a cube. Now, in sacred geometry, there's only 5 platonic solids. I won't go into all of them, but the cube is one in which you can find grounding. It's inclusive, and it allows you to experience simultaneous time, which means you can experience your past, your present, and the future all at the same time. And the graph will do that for you, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So,
As if the present weren't enough. As if just dealing with the moment.
Well, when it comes to love relationships, you do want to be able to see that through line. What's coming from your family? What's actually your business? What's that person's business? I always say, like, what side of the street is the trash on? You know what I mean? It's like you might need to clean up your side of the street before you start looking at the other person's side of the street, right?
I don't like to think I have a lot of baggage, but I definitely have a carry-on. That's it.
We all come with something that we're bringing. It doesn't really matter if you had a great childhood or not. There's things that we've witnessed and things that we've processed in a way that are here for us to solve. You know what I mean? Love is not it's a playground, but there's a lot going on, you know what I mean? And people get hurt and things happen. And so I wanted to find a way to organize it, because especially now, right, when you're like, where are all these men coming from? What do I do with them? And what do I tell them?
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So how do we fix it?
So we quantify men in 4 categories. We don't do a 1 to 10 scale on looks. We do it based on what our connection is with them, right? So there's actually 4 quantities of men. And the first one is a quarter of a man. So you see the 4-man plan is actually 16 little boxes.
Okay.
Right? So this quarter of a man is somebody that maybe you're just chatting with online. You don't really know them. They don't know much about you, but they're interesting. Right? So it's easy that you could actually have 16 of those, right? If you're on 3 or 4 websites and Tinder, that could easily happen.
Sure,
right?
we've got a few quarters.
Yeah, you've got a few quarters,
I'm a
right?
change person.
Yeah.
The quarter water.
I always tell women too, it's like when they're feeling depressed about their love life, go out and collect quarters. You know what I mean? Because it's nice to have that interest starting to stack up, right? So the second quantity of man is a half man. So he's sort of taking up a little more space. He's somebody that you've gone on at least 1 date with. And he also knows that you're dating other men. So it's really important for us that we let them know, because we're being honest, loving, and willing. Those are the 3 things that I ask everybody to try to embody, right? And so we have to tell the men that you're seeing other men. It's assumed, I think, in today's culture, but I think when you're very clear about it, it gives people that transparency that we're looking for, because we are shifting from a culture of like serial monogamy into this serial multi-dating, right? But we don't know the conversations to have around it.
Yeah, I love it. It means I can be responsible for less.
That's right. Men love the plan, because they're like, okay, you need a ride to the airport. How about one of the other guys? You know what I mean? But if they really want to compete, they'll show up for that. They'll be like, I'm the one. I'm here to help you move. You know what I mean? We're like, great. You know, you'd be surprised. Like, I never had a shortage of help or ride to the airport, or, you know what I mean? Like, whatever I needed, I had a lot of men to choose from to ask. And they all knew that there were other men on the graph. So either that gives them a sense of relief, or it tells them, like, maybe I should step it up.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Who
So
else
it
is on
works
the
both
board?
ways.
Who else?
So then you have the whole man, right? So the whole man is somebody that you're really interested in. When I coach women, the man they end up with usually stays a whole man for a really long time, right? That's somebody that knows you're seeing other men, they're interested in you, you've had some physical contact, right?
This guy's got to be pretty evolved, that guy.
This guy's evolved because he's going to hang with it, even though you're moving through your process. And I think it's really important when you tell men that you're seeing other men, their reaction is a lot of data, right? Some women go like, oh, I don't want them to, they'll freak out. I'm like, well, if they freak out on your first date, that you're seeing other people, I'm like, that is a very important piece of information. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not flattering, it's possession. You know what I mean? And they can be not happy with it, but they can't feel like they have a right to own you at that point.
Absolutely.
So it's really important to see, like, is he okay with my choices, what I'm doing? I'm being respectful to the men, I'm being honest, I'm not sleeping around, you know what I mean? So that is something you want to know about somebody. Can they hang in that spot?
Who's the next guy? He looks like he's got to be a man and a half.
Yeah, so the next one is the 2.
He's 2 men.
He's the one you're sleeping with, and he's also the one that's willing to bring you a baguette in the morning, let's say.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So we do this because the man that you're sleeping with takes up a great deal of space. You can only have 1 in your graph. So he has to be 2 1/4, because if you had 2, then it would be 4 1/2 men, and that would be too many.
Oh, okay.
Right? So there's sex as part of the graph. If you're waiting for sex, then it's whatever physical intimacy that you're comfortable with that you wouldn't want to share with anybody else, right?
Yeah.
So if that guy's in your graph, he gets that position, but should somebody else step into that position, this guy's gone. He's chucked out. He's out forever, and you have to tell him, like, because you don't want to go back and forth, sleeping with this guy, then that guy. That leaves you with no real potential for a long-term relationship with either of them, right? Because, like, men think their penises are magical. Once they put it in you, they go like, that's it. You got to be happy with that forever, or else there's no real chance with them for a long term, you're doing something else.
So
you know
if
what I mean?
women are looking for something that's long term, do you offer coaching?
Oh, yes. So I do coaching. We have a group on Facebook. I also do like really quick 20-minute coffee chats if you're in a desperate situation. I always recommend that they are 4-man planners already, that they're reading the book so that we have this common language to go by, because maybe you're not following the Wait for Sex Index. Maybe you're not doing the chick's chick angle, which is like, if that man is in a relationship, you lean back. That's the angle. You know what I mean? That's the angle you want to take on, because you're going to protect that woman. You want to be a chick's chick and be like, why are you here with me when you have a woman at home that you clearly are not being honest and open with?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, go deal with her. So we want someone that kind of knows the background of the book. So when we do a quick coffee chat, they can really get a lot done. And then I do long-term session work with people that is way more in depth.
Cindy, where can everyone find the 4-man plan?
That is at thefourmanplan.com.
Love it.
With the FOUR manplan.com.
Love it.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And it's really just a way to turn this thing that everybody thinks is a chore and a drag and so draining into something that's fun and exciting and empowering for women.
You
Well,
certainly
thank
make it
you
fun.
so much,
Yeah.
Cindy. We appreciate that. Make sure to get your copy of the 4-man plan and stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. Bye.